Hey Laura, okay, so here's your, actually we can enlarge this a little bit because these are pretty small. Here are your 4 shots. So to me this is the vocational shot, and this is also a vocational shot. This would be the still life, and then this is the long shot. So what we're missing here is the portrait. You know, in a portrait, something that's distinct about a portrait is we really get an intimate sense of our subject's identity. And in both of these cases, we don't even see the front of her face. So we have we don't get a sense of her. Here, she's not the subject. All this stuff is the subject. Like, it's the visual emphasis is there. It's bigger. It's brighter. The lighting is all there. You know, she just doesn't end up being the subject. So this is a vocational shot, and then here, this is the subject right there. You know, this activity. It's not actually her as a human being that's the subject. We have no sense of who she is, but it's this activity. It's in the center of the page. It's in the fine focus. The most light is right there. So what we don't have with your photo story is a portrait. We don't know this person right now, but we know what she does for sure. You know, she makes these beautiful. Oops, sorry. She makes handmade objects. They're colorful. They're made out of lots of different sorts of very delicate materials. You know, and she works in a very small area and with very technically detailed work, fine-tuned, lots of dexterity required. There's one of them, these ribbony things. We don't really know what they're for here, though. We just know that they're these ribbony clusters. I think you say something in your write-up, but it should be obvious from your images. What do you say here? What are these? Oh, bows. They're bows. Oh, so like for packages. Okay, it doesn't, yeah. It would be good to know. And then here's where she works. And so, you know, I was going through, like, my sense is that this photo story, though the lighting is actually pretty good. I want to give you some kudos on that. The lighting in this is really strong, and it's hard, which is making these all these ribbons a little bit more saturated, you know, and there's lots of color, there's lots of visual interest because of the shadows and the ribbons right there. I mean, I think this is a pretty good image. It would be nicer, a little bit more tightly cropped, like if we could have the frame just filled with that instead of having, you know, this curtain over here and then this empty space over here, because we would have a better idea of the narrative of her busy like high dexterity work. And then this is a great shot. The lighting is just beautiful. You know, you've got this nice soft lighting just coming in from behind, this backlight that's illuminating the activity here. I mean, that's actually a really nice shot. You know, as far as product photography goes, that's so-so. You know, the depth of field should be a little bit deeper. The white balance is a bit pink. It's off, you know. And then the background is kind of a weird choice. It's carpet or something. But, you know, product photography is something you have a flair for it or you don't, you know. But then, you know, here's the long shot of her house. And it's really difficult for us to connect this with our subject in the story. We don't really get a sense of that. So I'm not sure that was the right choice. It might have made more sense. I was looking at your lighting shots. It might have made more sense to give us something like this as a long shot, you know, just giving us a bigger shot of her studio. Because this shot up here, you know, could have been cropped effectively and had a stronger narrative if it was cropped a lot closer. So a longer shot of her studio would have made sense. Or even just having her here, like, seriously, just turned around and looking directly at us with that in the background, that would have been an environmental portrait. You know, she's surrounded by her wares, and she's just looking directly at us, and you know, the expression on her face could be telling or not. It doesn't even matter. But this lighting would have worked really good for that. I wish she would just be facing us. But I do think in this project you had some success with light, like I said, especially between this image and this image. These are very successful images. Unfortunately, you're missing an environmental portrait, and then you know, these last 2 shots are just, it's difficult to tie them in. The quality of the light on these just doesn't really work very well with the rest of the story. We would have expected much more, you know, because these are hard directional lights in both of these cases. We do have some soft shadow here because of where she is in relationship to the light, but the light itself is rather hard. These 2 just don't really work very well. I think these first 2 are successful in telling a story, and then these 2 not so much. So there's my feedback for you. But like, again, if you could do more of this, like this really focused, fine lighting that adds beautiful visual emphasis to the major activity of a shot, that's very successful. So more of that. This is a job well done right there. Very good. Okay, thanks.